Hey guys, Luke Smith here from We Buy Property in Kentucky, and today we are talking about how to sell a house in Kentucky by owner. Now, certainly you could sell to a company like us, we'll be happy to buy your house, but that's actually not why we're coming to talk to you today. So you can actually do it all on your own. You don't even need us, but we're happy to help you if you do. When you're selling a house by owner, you're certainly allowed to do that. It's a free country, thank God, and Kentucky is no different. You are allowed to sell your house on your own. You don't need a realtor. You don't need to work with a fancy company like ours. You can actually do it all yourself. It's not that hard. So we've got 7 simple steps to help you sell your house in Kentucky by owner, which is usually how you're going to garnish the highest price for your property. So first step, determine what buyers want from recent sales. This is important. Before you lift a hammer, before you go out and buy supplies, before you talk to anybody, look at what's recently sold in your market. So we're in Louisville, Kentucky, and we can simply pull up by looking at Zillow or Trulia or Redfin. There's a whole bunch of companies out there. You can literally put sold and pull up all the data that matches a house like yours. So you can pull up a similar house and then just simply look at, hey, they've got 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, just like my house. It's 1,000 square feet or 1,500 square feet. We're in an acre lot. Boom. You can pull that up. You can look at their finishes, compare them to yours, and come up with a rough estimate. If you can get 3 houses in your market that have similar features to yours, similar size, the same year that they were built, all of those components in there, then you can literally look at that and pull that out and say, okay, take an average of that, and that's roughly what you might look for at your house. The other component with that, you can look and see what those houses do or don't have, and you can also say, hey, we have a hot tub, that's worth something, right? So you can sell that. And you can make that a selling point in your property, maybe list it for a little bit more if you're planning on leaving that hot tub with the property when you sell it. But it's important to know what things actually sold for. Once you get a realistic idea, what's going on in the market, you can take a look and see what those houses actually look like compared to yours. And then nothing is worth something until it actually is bought. So just because you say your house is worth something doesn't mean it's actually worth that. It actually matters on what it trades for. So putting a price tag on it's one thing. What it actually trades for is actually what it's worth, because it's only worth what a buyer is willing to pay. So that's number 1. Number 2, declutter and clean your home. This is key. Whether you end up doing renovations or not, if you are selling your house, you want to declutter it. That means getting rid of stuff, selling things, maybe you even get a storage unit. You can get them for as cheap as, I think, $20 to $30 a month. You can certainly go higher that if you want a controlled environment, climate controlled environment, but it's best to get all the junk out of your house, because when you're selling your house, think about it, that buyer is not wanting to buy a problem, they want to buy a property. And if they walk in and they see all your junk and all your clutter everywhere, it's going to be hard for them to visualize actually living there and having a good time. And that's not going to bode well, either in the offer that they send you or even in the opportunity to sell your house. So if you get a buyer enticed, you want to have a clean, neat, organized house. Just because that you think it's acceptable to keep all your clutter on your countertops, get it off, clear it off, clean it up. It's not fun, but you can do it. We know you can. So clean out your house, make it neat and pretty. You don't have to paint or anything like that, but simply just clean it out, and that'll do wonders. So clean it out. Number 3, price your house to sell. So let's imagine your house is cleaned out, it's clutter-free. You don't have to buy new furniture, you don't have to stage it. You literally just cleaned your house. And so if anything, there's clear walkways, people can come and go, and when they walk in your house, they can actually imagine themselves living there, right? So that's what you want. You want to sell it on them. Now, if your house is overpriced, you're just gonna cancel out a bunch of buyers in your market. They're gonna look and say, this person is not motivated. They're either A, trying to rip me off, or B, they're out of their mind. Maybe C, they don't actually want to move. They're just throwing their house out there, trying to see if anybody will take it. I'll sell you my house for $1 million, fantastic. If someone gives me that, I'll take the offer today. But in most cases, they're not, because the market is efficient and they're just not going to simply do that. So you want to price your house to sell. Now, when you've gone through and you've looked at recent sales, number 1, you're going to get that average, right, for your house. It's great to say, hey, I've got, that 2, 1, or 3, 2, whatever makeup of your house that you've got. You look at those sales. You could price it right at the average of those, or you could even price it a few $1,000s below that. Now, before you freak out and say, I want to get the full price for my house, just think about it. Rather than listing your house for more than it's worth and turning buyers off, you could slightly underprice it, only a few $1,000s, 1 or 2, maybe 3, 5 at most. And usually what that will bring, especially in a seller's market, is multiple interested buyers. They're gonna look and say, wow, this person's reasonable. They've listed their house slightly below market. And then certainly if they're interested in your house, they're gonna be more enticed to buy that. What this can potentially bring is a bidding war for you. The more buyers you have, the better opportunity you have to sell your house for a higher price. That is good news. You want a bidding war. You want multiple people, right? So rather than having one buyer that you're like, this is my only offer, I have to accept it. If I don't, how long is it gonna take to sell this property? How long am I gonna have to wait? All those questions, all that fear, all that anxiety. The reverse could be, hey, we've got 3 interested buyers. They all like the house. And we tell them, come back with your best and final offer. That's what you want. You want that bidding war. In many cases, especially in a seller's market, they're gonna end up overbidding. Maybe your house is worth 100 grand. They might come back and say, we'll give you 110. And that's where their scarcity mindset and their, basically their irrational behavior is gonna come out because they wanna win that bidding war. And people get emotional, and that's where you as that sound seller, you're not gonna get emotional. You're gonna list your price slightly below market value, only a few $1,000s, and you're ultimately gonna garnish an even higher price for your property because you created some excitement in the market around your property. Now, that is number 3. Number 4, make repairs quickly. So once you priced it effectively, you're gonna get buyers that are interested, they're gonna make those offers. If they make those offers, fantastic. You wanna make those repairs quickly. That way you can close the sale. So anything that needs to be done, get that done, wrap that up. You don't want anything lingering. You just wanna close it off. And most of the times, if they're a reasonable buyer, they're not gonna have unrealistic expectations there for you. Take quality photographs. All right, so make repairs quickly, get that done, get that sorted. Now, taking quality photographs. When you're listing your house for sale, you wanna have good photographs. Now, everyone has an iPhone these days or a smartphone that they can take quality, high resolution pictures. It's up to you if you wanna pay a photographer. Maybe you know somebody, they're at your church, your niece, your nephew, whatever it is. Somebody probably has a high resolution camera, if not yourself. It's up to you how you wanna do that, but you're gonna have a better listing online if you're selling your house on your own with high resolution pictures, because that is the first step that buyers even are gonna take to look at your property. Most of the time, they're gonna tour it online with your pictures before they even step foot in the property. They're gonna look at that, make sure that it has the right amenities, they like the style and the finishes. Again, if your price makes sense and they don't like your finishes, you've even given them a little bit of leeway with that 2 to 3 grand that you underpriced your house at, and they say, hey honey, we can, redo the kitchen for a couple grand and we'll put our finishes, we'll put all brass in there instead of that silver that we don't like, or whatever it is. But pictures are key. So just because you want to list your property for sale, a sign out in the front yard, it's going to do something, but you're going to have a better opportunity selling your house and getting more buyers interested if you've got great quality pictures that they're posted online. That's where most people are going to start their home search for, and that's certainly what their actual agent is going to do for them. They're going to send them postings that are from the MLS. They will also pull in from public sources like Zillow or whatever you list your house for sale on. So take quality pictures. Number 6, write a quality listing. So really between the photographs and the listing, that is your first step to showing your property to buyers. That is your first impression. Now, you don't have to write a listing, but you live in the house, so you know all those intricacies and those special details that your home has that maybe if you listed with a realtor, they wouldn't know and they wouldn't even call out. They might just say, hey, this is a fantastic 3-2 located in the heart of the city of Louisville, and it could be yours today. Whereas actually, we are in the heart of the city, but we are in the center of our neighborhood, and we have 0 road traffic that we can hear. Actually, it's pretty quiet, and we love to spend time out on our back deck, and we drink coffee in the mornings. It's super peaceful. We like to read out there. Whatever it is, those little quirks and things about your property that a listing agent just simply might not, or they might not write up. At any rate, when you're writing that listing for your property, you want to sell that buyer. You want to entice that buyer where they look at your quality photos. The first thing they saw, they're like, wow, look at these quality photos. That drew them in. It's priced reasonably. And then they read your listing and they start to fall in love with it. They start to think, oh my gosh, honey, we could live there. We could have that same experience. We're moving to Louisville or wherever it is. And we want that same thing. That actually sounds fantastic. We're going to go take a look at that property. So if you've done all 1 through 6 effectively, you're going to entice buyers. Once those buyers finally come to the table, the last piece is negotiation. When you negotiate with the buyer, the goal is that you come out with a win-win. There's a wimp-win, which is where you're essentially taking what they give you, you're wimping away with what they give you, and they're winning. That's not what you want. So it's important to have an open dialogue with that buyer. Certainly, if you're listing it for sale by owner, you're going to be doing those negotiations on your own. You know that already, but it's important to realize and think, what am I good at? What am I not? Maybe what is my spouse good at? Or do I even have a friend or family member that would be better suited for this negotiation? So when you're negotiating, it's important to draw out what is most important to you, and then also what's most important to the buyer. Certainly you want to sell it for a good price. They want a great home, and there's a lot of negotiations in between there. So who's paying closing costs? If they have a realtor and you listed it for sale by owner, are you paying that realtor fee? Are they paying it? I don't know. These are all things to be negotiated on. So it's important that you engage in an open dialogue. You figure out what makes most sense to everybody else. Could you not do some repairs and they'll buy it for that price? Or are you going to do the repairs and they have to pay full asking price? I don't know, but these are things that you want to get sorted out. You want to negotiate to find a win-win. There's nothing worse than doing a bad deal. It'd be better it'd be better to do no deal than to do a bad one, right? So it's important to engage with them, make sure that everybody's open, and what's important. And then that way, maybe they come in with a higher asking price, but you want more time because you actually need to find a house. Whatever it is, these are all things to be sorted out. So there it is, guys. Really just 7 quick tips to sell a house by owner in Kentucky. And then certainly, if you do want to work with a professional company that will buy your house for cash, buy it as is. You don't have to worry about cleaning. You don't have to worry about decluttering your house. You don't have to about swinging a hammer, working expensive repairs, or even paying realtor fees. You could call us at We Buy Property in Kentucky. We're open and we're happy to take your call. Even if we don't end up doing business with you, we'll be happy to answer questions for you and even give you advice. We love helping homeowners out, and truly, it's our pleasure to serve you. If we do business with you, fantastic. If not, at the very least, we want to point you in the right direction. And we have tons of contacts with realtors, and we'd be happy to put you in contact with them if that's the choice that you actually take. So feel free to contact us at 502-509-5676, or you can visit us at We Buy Property in Kentucky. And I hope you sell your house for more than you hope for, and we wish you luck.